The second transparent type effect we're going to do is creating a knockout text effect. If you haven't already, go ahead, grab that St. Louis at Night JPEG and open it up in Photoshop. One of the first things we're going to do is we've got to play with some layers in order to create our type effects. So let's go here to our layers panel and do a new layer. It's going to end up on top. We want to go edit and fill. We want it to be white and we want it to be 100% opacity and say OK. And yes, that's going to turn your entire screen white, which is just fine, because then we're then going to go to opacity and change it down to 70% or so. And you're going to adjust this later, so it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. All right, the next thing we need to do is create our line of text. So I'm going to grab my text tool. I'm going to go ahead, choose Garamond. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to make it 700 points because I know it needs to be pretty big. And I know I want my color to be black. Black is all zeros if you don't want to scroll down to find it. And then say OK. From there, we're then going to take and write our word St. Louis. All right. So then we need to create an effect called a knockout type effect with these two layers only. So we need to group them. So I'm going to click on the first one in the layer panel. I'm going to hit Shift. I'm going to hit Layer 1 as well. So now they're both highlighted. I'm going to go up to Layer, Group Layers. So now they're both in a folder, which means whatever I do will only affect what's ever in this folder. I'm then going to go ahead and click on that type layer. I'm going to go up to my flyout menu or my hamburger right here, and I want blending options. With blending options, I want to go ahead and change my knockout to be shallow, and I want to take my fill opacity all the way down, and you'll notice now your letters are transparent, which is what we want it to do. And I'm going to say OK. So now what I can do is take this white and make it smaller. So I'm going to click on that layer in my layers panel. I'm going to grab my transform controls and shrink that band so it's just above and below my letters as they are right now. I'm going to push enter to commit that change. I can always use my move tool because it's grouped. See how my group is selected? It'll automatically move both of those together at once, so I can decide where I want to have this positioned on my page. So this is a really simple, nice looking, easy way to create a very interesting effect with some text that makes it stand out and looks pretty nice. If you want to, you can take with this layer right here, you can play with the opacity if you want to make it more or less see-through. Depends on the effect you're trying to achieve. Bring it all the way up. Definitely has that white line. Not quite as fun though. So when you like it where it is, do a File, Save As, first initial last name, St. Louis at Night with text, and .psd, and save it. And that's what you'll do to submit this second one. And that's all.